Light is a bubbly, burlesque enchantress whose charm lies in her irresistible blend of sweetness and sass. With a playful twinkle in her eye and a knack for turning the stage into her personal playground, she's a master of cheeky comedy and captivating choreography. Known for her whimsical routines and imaginative costumes, she brings an air of delightful mischief to every performance. Welcome back to the Burlesque Bulletin podcast. My name is Honey Holloway and I am your host today and always. Today we have a little special episode. We've got someone all the way from Sydney, and not only is she a burlesque performer, but she is also the host of the Stripped Back podcast, aka my favorite podcast. It's Daisy Delight.
Hello, honey. How you going?
I am so good. How are you?
Fan-flippin-tastic. And better now that I'm talking to you.
Oh, for the viewers who don't know, we did just record your podcast, so I will be on your podcast at some point. But for everyone who doesn't know you, tell us a bit about Stripped Back first.
Oh, good question. All right, so what is Stripped Back? Backstory. Basically, one day I was on my phone scrolling Instagram and I saw that Frankie Fontaine had done this cool podcast called Burlesque Bulletin, and I was like, fuck yeah, that's cool. And then I went, is anyone doing that in Sydney? No one's doing that in Sydney. And then just left it be. And then one night I was like really, really like high after rhinestoning, you know, when you breathed in too much E6000. And I was kind of like, fuck yeah, I could do that. Why can't I do that? So I messaged one of my besties, Miss Marceline, shout out Miss Marceline, and I was like to her, should I do a podcast? She's like, yeah, why the fuck not? And I started the podcast. It's pretty much, just me talking to people that I think are interesting in the burlesque scene and learning a little bit more about their lives. So kind of same but different to Honey over here. So yeah, that's it pretty much. There will be some interesting episodes coming up. I like to do like focused series. So I did one on mixed burlesque recently for Sydney, and there may or may not be another series coming up about another competition. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah,
I loved that series. I'm like, you're like a social media, like a, what's the word? Like a social media goddess. Like, you know what you're doing when it comes to social media. And when I saw that you were starting like a series, I was like, oh, she knows what she's doing.
This is like, social media used to be my day job, so I was just like, you know what, put those skills to good use. All right, let's go. Mission statement, all that shit.
Love it. Yeah. And I did already say this on your podcast, but it's my favorite podcast, I would say. Yours is, because as much as I love mine, I don't want to listen to my voice all the time. So I love listening to your voice, and I love all the guests that you've had on. And also, like, I don't know a huge ton about Sydney burlesque performers, so I'm getting to know everyone, and I'm falling in love with literally everyone as I listen to each episode. So
I feel the same about your podcast. Like, I mean, like, I said this to you before, but like, I love listening to you and hearing your voice and I think our interviewing styles are also quite different too. So like, I love that you're like so calm and put together, and like, you know, like you feel very like poised, and I love it. And I love learning about the Brisbane burlesque scene as well, because yeah, pretty much like I wouldn't have known about these people if it wasn't for your show. So it's like, I just feel like we're more connected and it's nice.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love that you feel that way about me, because inside I'm like, oh my God, like, have I forgotten my next question? Like, just like doing a weird face. Like, I'm always thinking. Yeah. So I'm glad I look really poised and like professional on the outside.
Yeah, you do. I love it. I love it so much. Is it Taurus energy? Is it the Taurus energy?
Yes, it is. Well, yeah, I would say the Taurus energy.
Okay, so
speaking of astrology, obviously you know, but we ask everyone their zodiac sign on this podcast, because we just have to know, of course.
Gotta.
What is your zodiac sign?
All right, so I am an Aquarius sun, and then I'm a Pisces moon and rising, double Pisces.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I am not surprised about the Aquarius, because you are so good with like networking and like online and everything like that. Slay, love that. And also Pisces is just so like
living in the fantasy land as good as that can be. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I definitely see that for you and I love it.
Yeah, I'm weird and I cry a lot is how I like simplify it, you know, like
Perfect.
meh. Is what it is.
Anyway, so tell us about your burlesque journey. How did you get started?
Okay, so this might make me sound like a total weirdo, but like I great start, Daisy. But I was listening to your podcast like a bit in like preparation for like being a guest because I'm not used to being a guest. I'm used to being the host of a show. And I would do this thing where I would like listen to your guest answer a question and then I'd pause it and I'd be like, how would I answer that question? So I've like been preparing. But even then,
I literally did that today. Like I re-listened to some of some of your episodes and I was like, oh, which one am I going to listen to again? And I was listening to Bella Baby Doll. I
oh
love her.
yeah.
And then yeah, so I'd like listen to the question and then I pause it, and then think about my question. But then I just ended up listening to all of the episode again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who did that because I was like in my car and I'm like, am I a fucking psycho right now? Like, what am I doing? But no, oh my God, this is for real though. Okay, so my burlesque journey, it's been like a bit all over the shop. Kind of similar like we were talking earlier about how you kind of had like a stop-start sort of situation. I'm a little bit similar. So I've always been a performer my entire life. I was always involved in drama, like stage productions, singing, like not really dancing though, funnily enough. Like I was never like a dance kid or anything like that. I was very much like a da 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 on the stage sort of vibe. So yeah, always involved in drama. And when I was like a young lass going into being a from teenager to adult, I was looking for hobbies to do. And around about the same time, I found like burlesque and those sorts of things. I also found like improv comedy and stuff and stand up. And that became my real like focus for quite a while was stand up comedy and improv comedy. I was always involved in those worlds, obsessed with it, loved it. I made some amazing friends through that. That was back in Perth, moved to Sydney, kept doing the same thing. But burlesque and dance was always like on the back burner, like it was always still there. So I started doing burlesque classes when I was in Perth. With they have a gorgeous studio over there called Sugar Blue Burlesque, and I highly recommend anyone who wants to go, they should go there. They're the best of the best. And I had some cool teachers. I think Fifi Fontaine was one of my teachers. Learned some really beautiful basics. But it was always just like something that I did with the gal pals while I focused on my comedy. I was like, oh yeah, this is just a thing that I do with my friends. Like, whatever. Moved to Sydney, similar thing. I was at Sky Sirens for a bit before it closed down. And I Again, I weirdly I wasn't involved in burlesque though. I was involved in like lyra and pole dancing and like just I was slowly getting there, you know? I was like
You're burlesque adjacent.
yeah, exactly, 100%. So it's so weird because like I see some people and they just like get involved in the scene. They're like, yep, like my start
Hardcore.
point was like right there. But for me, it was like I'd kind of just been like a bit of a stalker around the scene. Like I like, literally be interviewing someone and be like, oh yeah, I remember you from blah blah blah, and I saw your debut at this thing in like, 2019. They'd be like, what the, like, how do you know? But it's like, yeah, I was sort of like around, but I wasn't Daisy Delight yet. I hadn't fully like stepped in. The moment where I like properly like stepped in was COVID had happened. I stopped doing stand-up comedy, just because it was way too stressful for me. I am a very big perfectionist at heart, and I found that with stand-up, like you get live feedback on whether or not the audience thinks that you're succeeding pretty much in the moment. And it's fucked. Like for someone with anxiety like me, going on stage and like being like, okay, like I'm gonna say something and I'm gonna tell immediately if everyone liked it or not. And even if they didn't like it, you still have to keep going and do your time, which is just the most awkward thing. Um, and with improv, it's that, but you don't even know what you're doing. So sometimes it can be fantastic, and sometimes you're like stuck in an imaginary land and everyone's staring at you like, what the fuck is this? And you're like, I don't want to be here either. I'm so sorry. So it's like, yeah.
I feel like if you can do stand-up comedy, you can definitely do burlesque. Like,
For sure.
that's terrifying. That literally, I can't think of anything more terrifying than getting up on stage and saying anything or doing comedy.
Yeah. Legit. And when I tell people, I'm like, yeah, like now that I'm doing burlesque, it's like I don't really feel scared about going on stage because I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna show my tits. Like everyone's gonna fucking love that. Like, why would no
Yeah, no
one
one's gonna go, boo,
like,
get off the stage.
yes! Yeah, legit. So yeah, I found that because yeah, I knuckled down, I was studying for a bit, came out of that study and I wanted a community and I ended up doing dance classes and I found that the community was just really beautiful in burlesque because it is like, an extremely diverse. It could definitely be more diverse, I will put it out there, but for the most part, it's a very diverse, queer, women-led space where everyone's just got each other's backs and we're all there for each other. So yeah, well, I mean, obviously that may be an overly idealistic way of looking at it, but as far as I saw it, like it felt like a new place that I could call home. So yeah, I pretty much started doing more burlesque dancing. I found it really fun, started doing solos, and then I've pretty much been like all in from about like end of 2023. That's like when I debuted. So yeah, that's pretty much the journey. It's sort of been like, but I'm here now. So there you go.
Here and you're here.
Yes, I am.
So how would you describe yourself in 5 words? Daisy.
That's a really, really tricky one. Okay. 5 words. I am chaotic. I am silly. I am funny, adorable. And I am also five, 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 five. Funny, hilarious. I don't know. Did I say hilarious? I'm really funny. Did I say that I'm funny?
You did say that.
Yeah.
You could say, I always call you a ray of sunshine. That can
Oh,
be hyphenated.
no, that's very kind. It's very kind that you say that as well. That's like literally one of the best compliments. Whenever someone says that to me, I'm like, oh, for real? Oh,
It
that's so
is. I
nice.
feel like, I mean, I've never technically been in a room with you, but I feel like you would light up the room when you walked in, like
Oh,
that type of vibe.
you're very kind. Thank you. God, I can't believe that we haven't been in the same room together. That's actually wild, like considering like how well I feel like I know you. I'm just like, what the
I
fuck?
know,
Like,
right? Yeah, we've talked on the phone. I mean, we've only talked on the phone once, haven't we?
oh my
And then
God,
we've
we
just been
did.
messaging and stuff.
Yeah,
But
just stalking each other.
yeah, the usual.
The internet.
So, how did you come up with your stage name, Daisy Delight?
Oh, okay, so Daisy Delight. I okay, cringy, but I used to be a bit of a blogger in my late
Ooh.
teens. Yeah, I had a WordPress. And I remember my mum was like really scared about like internet safety and stuff because I think all of our parents were scared about that at that stage. They're just like, no, don't tell people your real name and blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start a blog about all the things I think are cute. And I'm gonna use a moniker to go by. And I always thought that if I were to choose a name for myself, it would be Daisy. I feel like it really suits me. I feel like it just makes sense. Like I always really liked how cute it sounded. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have this blog and my name's gonna be Daisy, and that's it. And that was probably the first time I started using the name Daisy. Yeah. The delight part, I don't know, like burlesque girls, we do love an alliteration, don't we? We really,
We do.
really do. We do. So I think that I was just looking for like something that summed up my vibe and my personality. And I went through like a few different like drafts of names. I actually, very funny, I also opened up Instagram accounts under different burlesque names too. Like back when I was sort of like dabbling around in the space, I had one called Bambi O'Hara, which is just like, what even
Oh,
is that name? Like is she? Bambi O'Hara? Like, no.
Yeah,
Get it.
it's definitely not as good as Daisy Delight, I think.
Thank you. Yeah, no. Daisy Delight, it just feels like me. And then once I'd like thought about it a few times, I'm like, yeah, like this is good. This sounds good. This feels right. Yeah. Oh God, that's right. The reason why I even had to come up with a name in the first place was because I was competing in a pole dancing competition with my housemate at the time. So I had to come up with one. I'm just like, okay, I like Daisy Delight. Yeah, there you go.
Oh my God. I would have just had a mental breakdown and been like, I can't choose. I can't choose this quickly.
What's crazy as well is that I wasn't even a pole dancer. It's just my friend was, I mean, like I did a little bit of it, but like my
Yeah.
friend was like the talented one. And I was just like, fuck it. If you're doing it, I'll do it. Like, why not? So yeah, didn't even end up competing in the end. I had to pull out at the last minute. So
Well,
there you
maybe
go.
it was meant to be just so you could choose your burlesque name.
That's true.
Good
Life
to have.
has a way.
So, who's been some of your burlesque inspirations?
Oh my God, that is a really, really good question. For me, like there are so many different people that inspire me and for so many different reasons as well. So like off the top of my head, I love people who get weird with it. Like I love people who do something and then you're just like, what was that? That was awesome. I've never seen that before. So, I was talking to the fantastic burlesque artist in Sydney called Anya Bones. I'm obsessed with Anya Bones. I love her so much. I was actually like a little bit starstruck in the interview. I'm sorry, Anya. I was like, but yeah, I remember like seeing one of her acts really early on in my like burlesque fangirl days, and she was like a crazy cat lady. That was her character. So like she came out and she had like this crocheted dress and she had like cats like stuck onto her. And I won't give away the act, but she fully embodied the character so hilariously. I was like, this is it. This is it right here. Like the visual gags are just so good. Like I want to be like that. So
Did she start throwing in the cats?
she may have knocked a few things off tables.
Yep, love it. I would just picture her throwing cats at people. That's like,
Oh yeah, and she did actually throw her.
yeah,
Yeah.
like on The Simpsons.
Just like, and then she's like, "Give me my cat." It's so funny. It's so good.
Amazing.
Yeah. But another one who I saw really early in my burlesque fangirl stalker days were what was it? It was Betty Bang Bang, who is like an incredible, she doesn't live in Sydney anymore, but she lives up in up Newcastle way. And she's just a ball of energy and she's so like exciting when she comes out on stage. I saw her at a gig called Burlesque in Hand. Like probably well it would have been 2019, crazy. And she did this act to Rock You Like a Hurricane by Scorpion, and she was just, it was just powerhouse. Like she came out, she had like this freaking dominatrix like cap thing or whatever on, she's just like pew, and I'm just like, this is awesome. Like I wanted to get up and dance with her. It was so much fun, and I was like, yes, I love this. I want to be that. And I actually got to meet her quite wow, it would have been like about a year ago now. It was the cutest thing actually. I'm so like tangent, sorry. So I love my
We
tangent.
got to know all the details.
Yeah. So I was doing a show for Bad Girls Club, so Kitty Allure and On Your Bones. And we'd gone up to Newcastle and she was hosting and I was backstage and I was basically saying to her, I love you. Like, you were one of my inspirations in burlesque. Like, I think that you're amazing. And she was so kind back to me. And it was just a very, like, people that I love the most in the burlesque scene are the people who they have every right to, like, you know, be like, "Ha, I'm too good, blah, blah, blah. But they are just so humble and kind to everybody. And she is one of those people, like, who would go out of the way to talk to the troupe, talk to everybody, like, really, like, just beautiful, kind person, and she's achieved so much. Like, yeah, incredible. So, after that, I told her that I was going to be competing in the Apprentice for Sydney the next day. And then she actually like went out on stage and she's like, "Can we bring Daisy Delight out here? I just wanted to say she's competing in the Apprentice tomorrow, and I wish her luck." And I was like shook. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Oh,
Like,
that's so sweet.
actual gem of a human. Like, I love her to no bounds. Like, she's incredible. Yeah.
Oh, stunning.
Yeah.
So do you have a creative process when you're figuring out your acts?
Oh, that's tricky. Not really. Not really. It's so weird as well. I was like talking to someone about this the other day and like, well, you've done so many acts. It's like, no, like solo acts that I've actually like physically brought to the stage. There are only two at the moment. I've got a third one in development, but like other ones have been like really random weird ones. So like there's a duo that I did with one of my friends, Exotic Venus, where we were Dumb and Dumber, and that was just because we had an in joke where we were basically like Dumb and Dumber in the Sydney burlesque community. So we're like, let's do that.
I
There
saw
was
that. It was amazing.
it was so much fun. I want to bring it back so badly. Exotic, if you're listening to this, please bring it back. I would love to bring it back. Who else? Yeah, there was another one where there's like this lesbian club night in Sydney called Junipero, and I'd bought a ticket to go, and my friend had as well. And then they messaged me being like, "Do you want to perform?" And then I was like to my friend, "Do you also want to perform?" Because they were like, "We want people to smash cake on each other." I'm like, "Fuck it, I'll do it. Like, why not?" Like, $100 is a
Oh
hundred
my
dollars.
God. Wait, so they called you when?
They like messaged me like maybe about 2 weeks before the event actually happened, and they were
Oh
just
my
like, "Hey, we want someone to do burlesque," because I'd already applied for them, and I was just like, "Fuck it, I'll do it." Like a lot of my performances are like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'll do it." The other one that comes to mind is I did a duo, and all of these duos happened in the same month too. That was a really hectic time for me. It was all last October, memories. But yeah, I had another one with gorgeous Maeve Loveless, who's a very close friend of mine. She filled out an application form for Red Light Confidential, which is like a regular show in Sydney. And she like put down you had to put down three options, and she was like, first option, my solo, second option, another solo, third option. I've been thinking of doing a duo with Daisy, and she submitted it, and then they were like, yeah, we want that one. And then the producer of that show, Delilah Dollbaby, messaged me and she was like, hey, this duo with Maeve sounds great. And I'm just like, cool. And I'm like to Maeve, the what? The what? So
Can I just say, you guys look a lot alike. Like you've got similar vibes.
fuck
Like,
off. Maeve
yeah,
Douglas is literally like the prettiest person alive. So like that's a huge compliment.
exactly, girl, exactly.
Oh, very
You guys,
kind.
seriously, you like if you told me you were like sisters or cousins or something, I'd be like, yeah, I
Aw.
wouldn't even blink.
She's lovely. You would love her. She is so funny. She's kind of like me, but like a bit more like, huh, she's got a bit of like a tough bitch sort of energy about her as well. She's cool. I love her. So no, getting back to the point, Daisy, let's do this. My personal creative process. So when I'm not being roped into random things and just saying yes to everything, I tend to usually starts for me with a song. So songs that I really like. I've only got like two that have been shown to the public, three soon. But all of them have sort of started off with a song. So my first ever solo was to Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel, and that was just always like a song that I've loved growing up. It was a lot of fun. I was walking down the street one day and I was like, huh, wouldn't it be funny if I was a builder and I was dancing to Sledgehammer? And that's how that pretty much came about. Um, I have a second one, which is this act has been a bit of a cause of strife for me, because I haven't really like figured out like how to make it my own yet. There's a Lana Del Rey song called Playing Dangerous. I don't know if you know it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's basically her just like talking really sexy the entire time, but like seducing a police officer and being like, everybody knows that I'm a good girl, officer, like that kind of thing. Yeah. So I heard it and I was like, this is a burlesque act, like for sure. But I didn't really consider whether or not it was a good burlesque act for me. I was like, oh, it'd be a good burlesque act, but I'm thinking like Kitty Allure or Bella Baby Doll could do that. But I'm like, it being that kind of like serious and sultry didn't come naturally to me. It was very hard. So I kind of want to workshop that one with someone and get some more ideas in play. Yeah. And
I
then
mean, I would love to see it. I feel like, that might be a good like growth point for you to try and slow down, because I'm the same. Like I'm
Yes.
like don't want to have any, boring moments, quote
Yep.
boring. But like slow moments are so like important, in burlesque. So I feel like it would be an amazing challenge for you, and I feel like you'd do amazing.
Oh, you're very kind. Thank you. No, it was funny when you were mentioning inspirations. Kitty Allure is another one of my inspirations just because of how well she's just so confident in being slow and standing still and just being like, nah, fuck you, you watch me. Like, I feel like I could learn so much from her. So, Kitty, if you want to workshop the act with me,
She was your first guest, wasn't she?
she was. I love her so much. I'm just like, yeah. That was like when I was when the podcast was still in baby stages, and I was just messaging everybody I knew really, and I was like, "Would you do it?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'd do it." I'm like, "Oh, wow, okay." Yeah.
Such an amazing first guest too.
Yeah, she is incredible and she has so much knowledge. She's also doing so much in the Sydney space right now. She's got her Allure Academy, which has just opened up. And
It looks so good already.
it's so much fun. Yeah. So yeah, anyone in Sydney who's like umming and ahhing about burlesque, just sign up for one of Kitty's classes. You're in good hands. She's a legend.
Love it. What does a day look like for you when you do the podcast?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because I just want to know. Like my days when I do the podcast, I'm like, I'm such a routine person as well. So I'm like, I want to know the details of like all that.
Okay. Well, for me, hopefully I'll have already done my research on the person, but if I haven't, then I'll be like stalking their Instagram, just be like, oh, what have they done recently? Blah blah blah. Like try and get some like good talking points there in case. I don't know, like aside from that, like I like to feel like I'm relaxed and I'm in a good headspace before I go into doing a podcast. Sometimes I've like gone into a podcast episode and I've been stressed or like something else is going on and I'll reflect on it and I'll be like, is that the best I've done? Not really. Yeah, so I don't know, just trying to make myself feel happy and relaxed and like at the end of the day, as starstruck as I am by the person I'm probably talking to, like they are a person and they're usually just really nice and happy to be there. So yeah, it's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what's been some highlights for you throughout your burlesque journey and even your podcast journey as well? If there's been any specific people that you've been like, oh my God, I can't believe I got them on the pod.
That's a really, really good question. Highlights in my burlesque journey. Definitely doing apprentice last year. That was really, really cool. Like just from a personal perspective, because like the fact that they even fucking chose me, I'm like, who am I? Like I'd literally done one solo at that point and I just like submitted it because I'm like Delulu. I'm like submit, let's go. And they like accept. That was incredible for my self-confidence. Like it was that boost that I needed. Yeah, and also just like competitions are just they're so great for community. They're such a beautiful time. Like I really like, I don't give a fuck if I win or if I lose, but I mean like being around these really exciting and like inspiring, entertaining people, like it's just a great night. Everyone comes out. We all like, like support each other. It's beautiful. Like I get similar vibes at Mixed Burlesque, like it's like kind of like a weird family reunion. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's you. Hi, how you going?" And we're all just there to support each other. Like it's the best.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. And podcast wise, I think that I don't know. I mean, like you've also interviewed Ivana Jaloom, but the fact that she said yes, I was just like, oh my fucking God, that's crazy. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. The support that I got for the Mixed Burlesque series as well was something really exciting and not really. I didn't really know what I was expecting because I kind of just decided that I was going to do it, and then I ended up messaging the Mixed Burlesque page about it, like being like, "Oh, hey, I'm doing this thing, by the way. Is it okay if I use some of your group shots? It's okay if not." And they're just like, "Oh yeah, sure. Here's the files." Like, literally, they were like so open. So they cooperated really hard on that, and it was really nice. And they gave me lovely compliments. They cross-posted all of my stuff. Like, it was really cool. So yeah, probably those.
Love it.
Yeah.
So what about some not good moments or maybe some malfunctions, either on stage or with the podcast as well?
Oh my God. With the podcast, bro, like literally we could be here for freaking ages. Like chaos is it's always something. Okay, I'll start with the podcast because I have a really, really good one. So are you familiar with Baja?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So
But
Baja.
she was, I remember that episode because she was like in the UK or something, wasn't she? Yeah.
Yeah. Mixed Burlesque Sydney, 2023, and just like overall, just like an incredibly gorgeous human being, like one of those people that you see in real life, and you just like, are they real? Like that's pretty much Baja, and she just has like a very like confident, sensual energy, and it's just, she is just, oh my God, yeah,
And
I
her
get
voice,
tongue.
her voice as well was so like calm and strong, but like velvety. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I get tongue-tied just thinking and talking about her. Anyways, so I was doing the interview with her and like already I was like pretty like nervous because I was just like, holy shit, she's done so much as well. Like she's been in Vogue, like, she's won like multiple awards. She's like the shit. So I'm like, oh my God, how do I even go about talking to this person? So yeah, I remember calling her and it was on a new laptop. And when she picked up, my face was upside down, and I was like, "Fucking great, cool, this is a fantastic." And then she couldn't hear me; my microphone wasn't working, so I'm like, "That's awesome." And that rattled the fuck out of me. And then we proceeded to have technical issues for the entire interview, and I was just like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm not usually like this."
Well,
Yeah.
that's the worst as well, especially when it's like this is the first time you've had the issue or whatever. You're like, I'm usually so professional. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, exactly. I was so embarrassed, and I'm like, God, on this one that I was like so nervous for as well. Like, seriously, this is actually happening right now. I mean, she was lovely and like so like chill about the whole thing, and she was great, but like I was just like dying inside. I'm like, oh my God, seriously,
Well,
the
it
Baja.
definitely, like, I listened to the episode and there was no point where I was like, thought that there was any major issues happening. So I think you guys addressed it, but it didn't seem like anything had
Post
happened. So
production, baby.
editing, woohoo!
Yeah, we love a good edit.
Yo.
So it's probably like my biggest. Oh yeah, and Forrest will kill me if I don't say this, but as like I fucked up Forrest's podcast, and it's really funny as well because that first take that we did of the podcast, we had some really really good stories in that second half that got lost. It was very funny. It was a really funny moment where I was talking to her about like Aurora Riot and a funny performance that I'd seen her do, and Forrest was just like to me, Daisy, I was there with you. What do you want about?
Oh my God.
That's lost to the sands of time. But it was funny.
Oh, yeah, there's been so many malfunctions with the podcast, but you just, it's show business, baby. You just make it look all natural and whatever, and it's all good.
Literally. Yeah. And on stage, I'll pick like two very quick ones. For that cake smash act that I did, I tried eating some of the cake on stage and it was actually disgusting, and I kind of
Did you
like threw
make
up.
it?
No, I didn't. It was from Costco.
Oh, what the heck? And it was bad? I've never had a Costco cake, so I don't actually know, but I assume they would be good.
You would think, right? But no, I tried to like eat a little bit all sexy, and then it was horrible, and then I kind of like threw up in my mouth a little bit. Not like literally threw up in my mouth, but like I wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, this is fine. Like I'll just get off stage and I'll spit it out, and it's all good. And then they made us like stand up on stage while people did speeches and stuff because it was like a birthday event. So I was just there, and you can actually like. I might need to send you the video because it's really funny. If you play the video back, you'll actually see me like turn around and just do this real subtle, and that's me spitting cake into my hand. So yeah,
Oh my God, love it.
sexy.
I bet if people saw you that, they'd assume that the cake wasn't like edible or something. You know, like a prop cake or something.
Maybe it was a prop cake, and I'm just really fucking stupid. I was just oh no.
A quick thanks to Cam Attree for sponsoring the Burlesque Bulletin and for all his hard work behind the scenes, filming and editing the podcast. Cam has been involved in the burlesque industry for over 12 years through his photography and videography. If you are a performer looking to get promo photos and video, or a producer looking to get your show photographed or filmed, please contact Cam through his website, camattree.photography, or find him on Instagram at camattree.photo-video. And now back to the episode.
So has there been a surprising lesson that you've had to learn or a challenge that you've had to overcome?
Okay. For this one, I got to say, makeup for me has been the biggest thing for sure. 100%. Yeah. Because when I first started, I look back at videos and photos of my debut, and I'm just like, who is she? You know, it's like I like, you know, Bella Baby Doll actually taught me a lot about makeup, and Bella Loosh as well. The Bellas, they know they fit. But it's like, yeah, I think a lot of girls, they get scared about like really like going all out with your makeup because they don't want to look like a drag queen or like overdone or anything like that. And by the way, not to say that looking like a drag queen is a bad thing, but like, oh my, like, you know, like some people are just like, I don't want to overdo my face. And it's like, no, more is more. Like, we're going on stage. Like, they want an experience. They don't want a natural looking girl. Like, you are the fantasy. So like, you know, yeah. I remember like Bella Baby Doll being on like literally eyeshadow is blush, like, you know, like that kind of stuff. Like, and it's funny because like you'll see her I'll see pictures of Bella Baby Doll and she'll like do her wing and it's like way out past her eyebrow. Like it's like big, but it doesn't look weird because it's like it's the look, you know? So yeah.
Like even today my eyeliner is so crazy. Like this is natural, but like it looks so small on
Yes, right?
on stage. Yeah, I'm also not the best with makeup. Like I've always loved the winged liner. Like I'm good at a winged liner, but oh my God, like blush, contour, highlight, I'm awful. I'm so awful. But I have gotten a lot of compliments on my eye makeup from my last show. And I'm like, I left like my house being like, this is the craziest makeup I've ever done. I look absolutely insane because I did the white thing underneath as well. And I'm like, oh my God, like it looks weird on me. But I got so many compliments and the photos look slay. And I was like, oh, okay. So like, I'm going to do this every time.
Literally 100%. It's like getting out of that mindset because we're so used to like, you know, doing our makeup for like every day or for a night out with friends or, you know, this is not either of those things. This is stage and like, you know, like people are watching you and they're far away and, you know, you get photos. It's like, yeah, it's a whole different ball game. So like just making my makeup bigger and more noticeable on stage. And like it's funny, even like people said that to me like as I progressed. Like I remember like I did my sledgehammer act at a fresh meet and then I did it again at Apprentice. And one of my friends was like to me, the thing that really elevated that was the fact that you actually like went all in with your makeup because I like put like blue and yellow eyeshadow and I like, you know, really like made it stand out. And she's just like, yeah, that really helped elevate it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it all like tells a story. Yeah.
Have you tried putting like rhinestones on yet?
Yes. I do a thing with my rhinestones all the time now. It was so funny actually. Bella Loosh once messaged me because she saw my makeup on my story and she said, "Your makeup is getting increasingly cunt and I love it," which is like one of my favorite compliments.
I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't tried the rhinestone thing yet, but I'm like I keep forgetting to like do it, but it looks so good. Even like how I think it's Betty Bombshell has it on the nose. Like I'm like, that's so smart. I would have never thought about that.
It's cute as hell. No, I do it, but like I'll do like one there, one there, one there, one there, because there was like a TikTok trend where they were like, if you do white eyeliner in those parts, it makes you appear more attractive. So I'm like, if I have sparkly things, and I'm like 10,000 times more attractive, right? So yeah.
I noticed the other day as well that Frenchie Darling, for her little like the moles, she would have a black rhinestone, and I was like, oh my God, that's so smart. Because I used to have a mole here, but obviously when I put, oh, not a mole, a freckle.
Yeah.
When I put my makeup on, it sort of disappears, and I used to like draw it on, but now I don't anymore. But I'm like, oh, I should put a rhinestone on it.
You should. That'd be so cool.
It's so cute.
I love it.
So if you could swap lives with anyone for a day, who would it be?
Fantastic question. Been thinking on this one. I think for me, personally, I would love to know what it's like to be Carly Missy. Do you know Carly Missy?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I love her so much. She is freaking hilarious, but also she's really sexy and like she knows how to balance. Like I think sometimes I veer too hard into the clown side, and I love being a clown. Like it's all I've known. Like I love it, but like, seeing how she sort of like melds glamour with clowning, I think it's really inspirational. Like I saw a video of her the other day on Instagram Reels, and it was like her literally like with a big boa around her arms, and she was like dancing to a
Pink one?
song. Oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
The pink one?
I think so. And like she was dancing to a song where like every now and again it would go, "Ooh," and every time it did that, she'd just go like that, and then
Yeah.
she'd just stand and then be like, "Ooh," again. And I'm like, that's so smart. Like, oh my God, I want to know how your brain works.
Yes, yeah, no, I totally saw that as well. And I was like, oh, beautiful. Like
Yeah.
so extravagant, but like perfectly extravagant.
Exactly. Like she's so funny. And she does like another one where she like drives like a little Barbie Jeep that's covered in rhinestones, and it's just like all of her acts are so fun. Like, yeah, I admire her a lot, so it'd probably be Carly Missy. Yeah.
Totally. So if you could share a dressing room with someone, who would it be?
Wow. Okay, so there was once upon a time, for a Red Light Confidential show, there was a really, really good backstage vibe there. And I was like way too tired from my day job to like fully appreciate it. But like going up to it, I was like, oh my God, this is like, this is gonna be the tits. And if I could recreate that dressing room again, I'd do it. So that dressing room was myself, of course, Maeve Loveless, Victory Von Duchess, who did her Phil Collins act that night, which is just the funniest shit. I love her
Oh
so
my
much.
God, I need to see that.
You do so badly. I tell everyone about it all the time. Like she would think I'm obsessed with her because I am really. So, yeah. But no, Venus Adored, who's another like absolute queen. I love her. Peyton James, who's hilarious. She did an act where she was Nigel Thornberry stripping to Welcome to the
Oh,
Jungle.
I love that.
Yeah,
You have to
yeah,
send me that too.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
It was so funny. Actually, it was really great. After the show, her and Victory did like a little Instagram reel together, and like the audio was like from Mean Girls because it was Halloween as well. It was like a really fun show. The audio was like in Girl World, Halloween is when you can dress like a slut, and like it's like Victory is Phil Collins, and like her is like Nigel Thornberry being all like,
Oh my God, that's so funny. That is the best idea ever. Like,
yeah.
I fucking love Nigel Thornberry.
So it was all there, like so many amazing people. Like, I think that's the thing that I love about Sydney is that, like, you can, like, walk into anything and be like, oh my God, you. I mean, like, I'm sure that it's similar in other burlesque circles too, because it's always so, like, inclusive and inviting. But, like, yeah, it's always like, I really don't mind who I share a dressing room with. Like, I always have a fun time no matter where I am. Like, when I was just getting into the burlesque scene, I'd do a thing where I'd just like randomly show up at shows with no one, and I'd end up like sitting with all these people because it was just they were just like, yeah, just come on in, it's great. I love it.
I love that. I'm just thinking of the contrast between like, because I've heard other episodes and you're like, oh yeah, just go up to people and like say, oh my God, I love you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I need to be more like Daisy Delight because
Ah,
I literally just like, I'll go by myself and I'll just like sit by myself. And then like, if people say hi, I'm like,
ah.
and then, because I'm like, I never want to go up to anyone and like interrupt them or just be like, I'm going to hang out with you and sit down and whatever, which I know people would be fine with it. But especially before I like, started doing the podcast, I was like, I'm just going to sit here and admire everyone and
Legitimately.
whatever. But now it's a bit better where I actually know people and I can be like, hello, and come up to them instead of just being like, I know you from Instagram. Can I sit with you? Like,
Yeah. It's so overwhelming. And to be fair, it happens to me all the time too. I mean, like, like you saying that, you say that to Forest Green, and she'd be like, oh my God, Daisy is like so scared to talk to people because there was a time where we watched, this was the time when we watched Aurora Riot together. And then afterwards, I was like, I kind of want to talk to her, but I'm scared. And then Forest just like, freaking, I'll go. And she like introduced us. Like, Forest is like ultimate queen of like, okay, fine, let's do it. Like, yeah, love you, Forest.
I've actually seen her on stage, but I'm
Oh, yeah.
doing it in quotes because she was do you call it kiddieing or vixen?
Mm.
Yeah. We most people call it vixening here, or
Oh,
like being a stage vixen or stage kitty. Yeah.
interesting.
Um, and because I went down to Sydney before I flew out to Europe, and I saw Frankie Fontaine at Red Light Confidential, which was like two ticks because I love Frankie, obviously,
Yeah.
and I always wanted to see a red light show. And yeah, Forrest was there doing the vixening, and I was like, I knew of her,
Yeah.
but I want to see more burlesque from her.
Mm.
I know she doesn't do a whole lot, but I'm like listening to her story, I'm like, I feel like we had a lot of things in common. But I'm like, I would love to see her on stage. She's also absolutely stunning.
She is absolutely stunning, and she's a goddamn icon. Again, another person who, like, I just want to crack open her brain and be like, because, like, her acts are just, oh my God. If you are going to come to Sydney at any time, you need to come for the Ultimate Showdown heat, that me and Forrest are in, because I'm pretty sure she's going to be bringing back, an act of hers that I personally love so much, and, you would see it and just absolutely die. It's
Heck
incredible.
yeah.
So that's all I'm going to say.
What's some good advice that you've received and maybe some not so good advice?
Ooh, good advice that I've received. Far out. Slow down is probably the best. It's true. I mean the classic Jackal Doll advice, dance like a cat and not a puppy, like just the idea of slowing down. God, it's gonna be something I think that I'm gonna wrestle with like my entire burlesque career because I am so used to, stand up and it's like I want to I'm looking for the next punchline or the next beat or the next, like it's okay to just exist and be hot. Like it's fine to just, not make people laugh or exclaim or go for a second, So yeah, being comfortable in silence is probably one of the best pieces of advice that I've been given. Oh, and also Kitty Allure tries to help me with my flexibility because I can't touch my toes. And last night she was like, hinge from your hips when you lean forward. So I need to start actioning that. Yeah. So
I'll have to think about that next time I try and touch my toes.
can you touch your toes?
I can touch my toes, but I can't obviously do the splits. I'm like weirdly flexible in some ways and then not in others. So I've got the tight hips. I can't do it. I can't like sit and touch my toes. I can do it when I'm standing, but not when I sit. You know how, yeah, I don't know what's happening. I do a lot of yoga, but I can't do that. It's weird.
That is fascinating. Oh my God.
I don't know what it is. I'll have to figure it
And then I
out.
have some friends like Maeve who's just like, yeah, sometimes I get into my shower and I accidentally do the splits into my bathtub. And I'm like, how the fuck do you accidentally do the splits? Like
I would
that's
never be able to walk again.
she's like, it hurts, but like she's just like hypermobile queen and she's just like,
Oh,
just do this shit and like get the leg all the way up here. I'm like,
God,
I wish.
jealous. So if you could travel back in time and talk to yourself when you started burlesque, what would you say?
I would say go for it. It's a lot of fun. You're gonna make a lot of friends. And yeah, it's really cool. Just freaking go for it. Have the best time. You're gonna love it.
Heck yeah. What do you believe is one of your biggest strengths when performing and some weaknesses as well?
Good question. Okay, so I think that my biggest my biggest strength when performing is my connection with the crowd and my face. I'm because I'm not a dancer, I'm a comedian. Like, so that's always been my kind of edge. Yeah, like I think that doing burlesque in a lot of ways has like freed me because when I did stand-up comedy, I was so like scared about, like, oh, the next laugh, when's the next punchline, when's the next this. But like with burlesque, it's like, if I'm funny, that's a bonus. At the end of the day, like what people signed up for was to see my tits. They're gonna see my tits. If I make them laugh between then, fantastic. Like who cares? Like so yeah. Yeah, that's probably what I would say my strength is. I mean, it does make for some really awkward photos, but I mean, like whatever, like we deal with it. Yeah. And probably my weakness is again, I need to slow down more. And I need to work on my flexibility hard because I can't touch my toes and it is kind of embarrassing when I'm like dancing with other people and they're like, "Oh yeah, just bend from the waist." And I'm like literally just like hanging there. I'm like, "Oh God." So Yeah. Might need some flexibility classes or something.
Have you tried online Maison Burlesque has splits classes?
No, I haven't. I should
Yeah.
though. It's awesome.
I think with Juniper Fox, I started doing those and they've actually helped a lot.
Mm.
Not that I'm that close to it, but like the few times I did it, I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, I should sign up then. That's good because I need like something to keep me accountable. Otherwise, I'll just stop doing it. So yeah,
Definitely. Yeah,
that's
for
good.
sure. Or even just YouTube, they have like, 30 days to the splits, although who knows if that actually works.
Yeah, they haven't met me yet. I will break that. I will break that streak.
So what's a goal that you have for the future? I'm sure you have many within burlesque, but is there a specific one that stands out?
Good question. Look, goals for burlesque. I'd like to do there's like one competition that I'd like to do this year in addition to Ultimate. So I don't know if I'm gonna qualify for that, but I'd really like to. I mean, look, oh yeah, this is a good one. I really want to MC very, very badly because it's that's actually part of the reason why I started my podcast because it's very much like, like if you want to MC something, it's like, oh, you have to know someone and blah blah blah, and it's like a whole thing, or you start the show yourself. And I'm just like, look, if I can show people that I can host a thing, then I can host their thing live as well. So I would love to because it'll bring back some of my stand up that I've been missing. So yeah, I would probably say hosting.
I feel like that would be the perfect combination for you. Like, I don't know you that well, but like, yeah, just from everything that you've said and like talking to you and everything like that, I think you would absolutely kill it.
Thank you. I would really love to one day. Like part of me is also like, oh, like maybe producing one day, but I mean, who knows? Like I don't want to I'm a very much like I say yes to a lot of things. I try not like my friend my friend Aurora Fleur was like to me once, like you need to actually like stop. It's okay to do nothing once in a while. So like I'm also just trying to like, pace myself. It's like I want to do lots of fun things, but also like in due time, let's relax.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're gonna play a game. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Oh, this game.
It's called This or That. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
just choose your fave. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Rhinestones or feathers?
Rhinestones. I like sparkly things. They're nice.
Heck yeah. C string or G string?
G-string, I do not trust a C-string. It was actually one time I wore a like a glow mesh dress to mix burlesque last year. I won best dress by the way, just saying, but I mean,
I saw that. It was silver, wasn't it?
yeah, it
Silver?
was like my
Yeah.
silver like
Yeah.
I loved it so much, but like the whole thing was that it was like split up the sides. So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna have to like wear a merkin underneath this. I kept sweating that thing off the entire night, and it was the most stressful thing. I'm like, bro, I have a dress covering me. If I was just wearing that on stage, I'd be shitting myself. Are you kidding me? No.
I think I've seen like 90% of the time that I've seen someone wear a C string, it has come off. So I'm like, that scares me. Yeah, but it looks so good when it's on there.
Yeah. I remember when Ivana brought her show to Sydney last year, she like did her vampire act and she's like doing floor work in a fucking C-string. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? You're doing a split in that. Like you must trust that harder than life itself. Like what?
She's a professional. She knows what she's doing. Oh my God.
My mind just left the building. I was like, what the fuck? Like she's so brave.
Yeah. I feel like I would just be like, I actually can't watch.
Yeah, literally.
Sorry, but I can't watch for just a minute because I'm scared.
Yeah. Legit. So yeah, G-string for me. I need those. Need that reinforcement.
Heck yeah. Neo or classic?
Neo all the way. I do want to get better at classic. Like I do want to like, find a voice there, but I just love being a clown and that sort of like translates better to Neo.
Yeah. Boa or feather fan?
I don't really use either, but I would probably pick a boa. Because feather fans, I don't no grip strength, no nothing. They don't. They look so dainty, but they really don't prepare you for how heavy they freaking are. So yeah,
Definitely. Have you done any troops with either of them? Like you've
Uh,
tried the feather fans?
I have tried feather fans, not in a troop, but like just like in classes. And I
Yeah.
remember like we were doing like weight training with our arms, like doing like 1 kilo
Yes.
to like try. And I was like, oh my God, like I didn't think that they like you never think they'd be that heavy because they're just pretty little fans. But it's like no, they're quite something.
And people make him look so light and
I know.
so natural, and you're just like, wow, that looks so dainty and easy.
Yeah, legit. And it's like, no, no, it's actually like, I'd hate to know how much some of those things weigh, like seriously. And you're holding both of them and doing that.
Have you seen the waterfall ones, I think they're called? They're
Mm.
like it's like a boa and a feather fan. Like, so you've got the feather fans, but it continues, and then it's like a boa, and it's so long.
Yes.
Cello Bordello has a beautiful, like, I think it's like white, and oh my God, she just makes it look so amazing. But I'm like, that would weigh so much. Like, I can't even imagine how, but I mean, she's so strong. She teaches,
Oh,
the feather fans classes all the time, and she's, amazing.
oh my,
And I'm like, oh my God, that would just be so heavy.
give me your gift, please.
Literally, give me your wrists, your
Yeah.
wrist strength, please. So lace or leather?
I would choose lace. Yeah, I'm like you, too sweaty. Leather. Oh my
We're
God.
sweaty girls. We can't do it. You'd be able to get in, but maybe not out of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like on stage when people specifically wearing it on stage and take it off on stage. I'm like, especially those skirts. I'm like, how? Like, you need butter in there to like.
It's legitimate. I don't understand it, honestly. I probably the closest thing I had was I got some like latexy looking gloves for a medalist class I was doing once with Betty Bandit, and I was like, I don't know how to get these off, and she's like, you got to put lube inside them. I'm like, oh my.
Literally.
I'm like, mind blown.
Yeah. So that means when people go on stage, do they lube it up before?
Just like covered in lube.
Literally. Tassels or assels?
I would choose tassels, but I love assels. I think they're very funny. They're great. I saw Songbird Siren do an act with assels recently, and it was a sleigh. It was her mixed burlesque classic, and I just it's just that little extra something. You bring that out, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
It's like it's a fun surprise, even though you like, don't expect it as much as tassels, but it's always like, yeah, it's great.
yeah, they are. So I've got love for both, but I've personally only used tassels, so I'd say tassels.
Yeah. Everyone loves a booty jiggle too. Of course.
Bread and butter.
Diamonds or pearls?
I picked diamonds. I think they're nice and sparkly. I don't know.
Heck yeah. Drag or burlesque?
Oh, that's a really hard question. I really love both art forms and they both have some amazing freaking performers. But like burlesque is like the one that I do more often, but I need to go to more drag shows. So
Mm.
yeah. Burlesque, but you know what? I need to go to more drag shows. So yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely been watching more Drag Race as of late, and
Oh
like
yeah.
really, um, yeah, like watching how they do the makeup and everything like that, because it's just like, and the wigs, oh my God, crazy.
It's incredible. Actually, there's a really amazing like burlesque slash drag performer in Canberra called Lola Lust, and I remember have you seen her before?
I don't think so.
Wait, I need to send you a picture of her.
Yeah.
She's so incredible because like we were backstage once together. No, not even backstage. So we were like doing the same photo shoot, like how they have like a set and all the people are like waiting and I was just like sort of like watching her do her makeup and I hadn't even met her before yet. I didn't know who she was and I was just like, oh my God. And like I was like to her, your makeup is so I think she was watching Drag Race at the same time too, which is just such a play. I was just like, your makeup is so incredible. You look fantastic. And then I went home and then later, like, I'd been to Canberra and I found out who she was and I just became so obsessed. I'm like, just yeah, it's magic. It's magic in the making, isn't it?
Truly is. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Cabaret or comedy?
Comedy for me.
Of course. Stocking peels or stripper heels?
I would pick a stocking peel. I think it's very fun and cutesy. I haven't worn stripper heels in a while, so yeah. Yeah. Need to crack those out again, see if I don't break an ankle.
A big stage show or intimate bar show?
Intimate bar show, I would say. My favorite gigs that I do in Sydney. So Kitty and Anya, I love them to death. They're both incredible people. They do this showcase, or not even a showcase, but it's like a show every second month called Fresh Meat, where it's basically like emphasis on like bringing up and coming performers out. I performed there for my debut. Always the best vibe there because I think it's just so crammed in. It's a small hole in the wall bar. Like Knox Bar, you have to go like down a street and press a button to open up the door, and there's like, interesting furniture everywhere. The bar always gets swarmed at halftime because there's so many people, but it's just like it's a real community vibe. Like you go there and like it's just loose and it's hilarious, and there are people like Matt Gallian's hosting at the moment, and people like heckle him left, right, and center. The crowd's electric, and you can really feel that energy. So yeah, that's probably my favorite environment, is just like a really like small, like energetic community, weird family gathering vibes. Like that's my fave.
Love.
Yeah.
Um, are you a movie or TV series type of gal?
I really like TV series. I recently just finished binging the Santa Clarita Diet, and it was so good. I'm so sad they didn't renew it.
Literally, I watched that like years ago when it came out, and I was really disappointed. I
Yeah,
didn't think I was gonna like it, but it was good.
so funny. I'm just like, it's like the weird fucked up humor that I love so much. It's like, of course, they got a freaking dismembered head in their basement, like working for them, like, like with this little headset. Like, it's just, yeah,
And
I love it.
weirdly, like I would have never thought Drew Barrymore would be good in that role, but she amazing.
What? She slayed it so hard, literally, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Early bird or night owl?
For me, I can do a bit of both. I would, I don't know actually. I would say night owl. I would say night owl. Yeah, because sometimes, but I'm not a crazy night owl. Like I don't stay up very late usually. Yeah, maybe a bit of both, somewhere in
Yeah.
between. I
I'm
don't
kind
know.
of in between two, so
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I love a sleep in at 9 o'clock.
Yes,
You know.
yes, exactly. I love a good, I just love sleeping. Like no, actually, let's do a secret third option, 3 p.m. nap. Whoa,
Oh,
love.
yeah, 100%. Sweet or savory?
Oh, um, some of my favorite treats are sweet and savory. Like I love like getting like salt and vinegar chips and like M&Ms and eating them together, or like the sundae with the chips. Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
I do love salt and vinegar chips, but I think I like them plain.
That's valid. That's fair. It's a bit of a weird thing. Depends on my day really, but I love mixing them both.
Nice. Have you tried what was it, popcorn and oh, what was that thing? Oh, I've forgotten what it is now. I'll remember it later. Um, Halloween or Christmas?
Ooh, for me, I would pick Halloween because I get to wear a fun outfit. I love this last Halloween. I was like part of like so many like random Halloween themed shows, so I got to wear like a lot of fun outfits. It was just really cool. So yeah, actually. I got a Christina Aguilera dirty costume for last Halloween. Love it so much. I never ended up wearing it, so I'm just excited for Halloween now because I want to wear it.
I mean, you should do an act as Christina Aguilera. You've got the vibes, you've got the hair, you could do it. You wouldn't even
That's-
need to wear a wig.
I just need like the big piercing like right there. And did she have one like there too or something?
Yeah, I think she had many piercings, if you know what I mean.
Ah!
I remember what reading a magazine when I was a kid, and it was like had a picture of her, and then they'd like outlined or like done a cross of how many like where her piercings were, and they were everywhere. And I think as an 8-year-old child, I was like, scandalous. I'm like, poor girl. Like everyone knows where her piercings are. Anyway, problematic. Um,
Absolutely.
red or white wine?
Ooh, I'm a red wine drinker. I don't
Are
really know.
you?
I don't really know know why. I don't know. I kind of like the bitterishness of it. I don't really know. I just picked it one day and I was like, okay, I guess this is my wine now. So I drink red wine. I did
Nice.
nothing.
What about cocktails or beer then?
Oh, every time it's cocktails, beer tastes freaking disgusting. I hate it. Yeah. For me, I love a good pina colada. I love a good margarita.
Oh,
Again, the sweet and the salty. Ooh.
yes. I forgot to say that when we did the episode. A spicy margarita all the way.
So good.
Oh,
So
the
yeah,
best.
that.
Love it. So have you got anything coming up specifically in the next couple of months? And where can we find you on social media?
Okay, so I've got two shows coming up. One is I'm working on a new act right now. I'm very, very excited to share it with the world because it kind of brings my teenage past of like meme culture and stuff like that and gaming and all of that into the fore. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that at Cooked Chooks, which is a show run by Bella Loosh on the 2nd of February. And then I'm going to be doing it again for Ultimate Showdown. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Wait, my heat's on the 13th, but I suggest that you watch all of the Ultimate Showdown heats because the lineups are just stacked and it's really cute as well. I was messaging Midnight and Forest about this the other day, but like our lineup for our heat is pretty much like an Apprentice 2023 reunion, which is just the 2024, sorry, which is just the cutest thing. It's like, oh my God, we're all back together again. So yeah, it's
That's so sweet. That'll be so cool. Like kind of like a bit of a full circle. Not a full circle, but like.
Yeah, exactly. It's around about the same time of year as well. So it's like, oh my God, guys. Yeah, so that's where you can see me live. I'm doing podcast. Blah. I'm gonna be doing weekly episodes coming up soon. I don't know when this is gonna be released, so they're probably already out. I don't know. Check my Instagram, you'll find out. So it's at Daisy _ delight _ loves _ yeah. I don't know why I made that so hard for myself.
But loves is with a U, not
Yes,
with a.
loves is with a U. Yeah, that's right. Because I didn't literally. It's like, what's your name? And I guess I'm gonna have this. And I again didn't think of the foresight there. And yeah, stripped back. It's just at stripped back pod. On socials, and yeah, that's really it. That's where you can find me.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for being here. I had the best time.
So did I. It was so much fun.
It was fun to swap for a bit.
Yeah,
It was interesting.
I like being a guest. It's so much less pressure. I'm like,
It is, isn't it? It's so like chill, and you're like, oh, I get to think about my questions, and yeah, it's great.
it's good.
It's hard to not go on tangents. That's the hardest part.
Every single time I'm just like, bull, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and we will see you soon. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Thank you so much to our guest for being on the podcast and letting us take a peek behind the curtain of their lives. Thanks for everyone joining us, and we will see you in our next episode.